This story begins on land shaped by countless battles for survival. Today, a cry drifts across that ancient ground, fragile and fading. You turn toward the sound, unsure at first if it's the wind or something alive. But then it comes again, thin, strained, trembling. It cuts through the still air, like a plea no one else can hear. You move closer through the open plain. The sun presses down, warming the dust under your feet. The grass is still, almost unnaturally still, as if the entire landscape is holding its breath with you. Then you see it. A baby elephant collapsed. On its side, trunk twitching, ribs lifting in shallow bursts. His tiny front foot scrapes weakly against the earth as he tries to rise and fails again. Your chest tightens as you hear the helpless sound. The calf can't be more than a few days old. His skin is soft, pale, and dust-coated. A thin line of dry mud clings to his forehead, shaped by the place where he fell. The ground around him shows the truth. A chaotic scattering of prints, deeper on one side, lighter on the other. Something made the herd run, and whatever drove them away left this newborn behind. You drop to your knees, careful not to startle him. His eyes open halfway, unfocused and scared. His trunk reaches out, brushing your hand with a faint trembling. Touch, not seeking food, not seeking comfort, but searching for someone, anyone, who might care. Then the danger reveals itself. A shifting shadow slides across the grass on your right. You turn sharply. A lone hyena stands 50 yards away, body low, eyes locked onto the calf. His ribs show through his spotted coat. His jaws hang open in slow, measured breaths. He is waiting, not charging, not rushing, but waiting, because he knows the calf cannot stand. You look back at the newborn. His breaths shorten, his legs shake. He tries to lift his head again, but it slips from his control. If you hesitate, he will not survive the next few minutes. You reach beneath his body, testing his weight. His skin is warm, but his strength is slipping fast. You know elephant calves can only survive short periods without their herd. They rely on constant guidance, milk, and protection. A newborn separated for even a few hours faces dehydration and collapse, and this calf has clearly been alone. For longer than that. The hyena shifts closer, one slow step at a time. You pull the calf toward your chest, bracing your feet in the dirt. The hyena freezes, studying you, judging the moment to strike. You shout, sharp and loud. The predator flinches back but doesn't leave. This scene will only grow more dangerous. And soon, the herd will return, but not before the predator decides whether to risk everything for one desperate meal. So before we dive deeper, if this moment moves you, take a second to like this video. And if these rescue stories inspire, you subscribe to PAWS and Tailies, where compassion lives in every story we tell. Comment your favorite animal. Let's see which heart beats closest to yours. You adjust your grip on the calf. His body trembles against you. The hyena lowers its head again. But in the tall grass, something shifted. You move the calf higher in your arms, but his body feels heavier than before, as if every moment without help drains another bit of strength. His trunk folds inward, resting against your arm, limp and warm. His breathing stays shallow, barely lifting his small chest. You can feel the fragility in each trembling inhale. The hyena studies you from the clearing's edge. He isn't rushing. He isn't nervous. He's patient, the kind of patience predators hold when they know time favors them. His paws press lightly into the dirt, leaving narrow tracks as he shifts position. He tests the air with a slow sniff, then begins circling to your left, widening the angle for a cleaner approach. You tighten your stance and lift the calf a little more. But moving isn't simple. The newborn's weight presses down unevenly. You try supporting him under the belly and shoulder, giving him enough stability so his head doesn't drop. Even then, you can feel how dangerously weak he has become. A calf his age should be wobbling on his feet, not collapsing into a stranger's hands. a quiet fear settles over you. You know the truth. Elephants are some of the few animals born almost ready to move. Within an hour of birth, they're usually standing. Within 2, walking. When one cannot even lift its head, something serious has gone wrong. The hyena steps closer. You shout again sharp, but he doesn't retreat far this time. He's calculating the distance between you, the calf, and the tall grass behind him. You know if he makes it to that cover, he could launch forward before. You have time to shift your grip. You look around quickly. A slope rises behind you, not steep, but high enough to give you a bit of ground advantage. If you reach it, you can hold the calf against your chest and keep your eyes on the predator. You adjust your arms carefully, ensuring the newborn's trunk isn't bent. Then you begin backing up along the dust-coated path. The hyena follows your movement instantly. His head stays low. His tail stiffens. His ears tilt forward, absorbing every sound the calf makes. You move faster. Your boots grind into the dirt as you guide the calf toward the slope. His small legs bounce weakly with each step, showing how little control he has left. You whisper short, steady words, not because he can understand them, but because the calm in your voice may help slow his growing distress. You reach the slope. Dust slides under your boots as you climb. It's only a short rise, but enough to shift the balance. From here, you can see farther across the plain. The breeze carries a faint, distant rumble, something heavy, rhythmic, almost like approaching footsteps. But not close enough yet. The hyena stops at the base of the slope. He tilts his head, studying the angle. He knows charging uphill is harder, but he also sees your exhaustion. He waits again, still as stone. The calf lets out a soft, broken sound. His trunk curls inward. His breath stutters in an uneven pattern. You press your hand gently to his side, measuring the pace. He needs help quickly. Hydration, warmth, milk, anything that can stabilize him long enough for the herd to return. Yet danger was moving. Faster than you expected? You shift the calf again, trying to ease the pressure on his trembling legs. His body feels warm but drained, like the last reserves of strength are slipping away. His eyes flicker open, then close again, too tired to focus. You adjust your grip and begin scanning the ground for any sign of what drove the herd away. Whatever happened here forced a mother to abandon her newborn, something elephants almost never do unless they're in immediate danger. You step carefully along the dry soil. The dust holds stories, and each track tells its own part. Deep, wide prints mark where the adults ran. Smaller, lighter ones show where the younger elephants followed. But something else stands out, a long, shallow groove cutting across the earth. It drags forward in a messy line, as though the mother tried carrying her calf by the trunk while running. The mark sways left, then right, and suddenly stops. The calf lifts his head slightly when you pause there. His trunk brushes your wrist. Weak and searching, you kneel and examine the ground closer. The soil is scuffed. The prints are tangled. It looks like the mother lowered him, hesitated, and was forced to move on. The realization stings. She didn't want to leave him. She had no choice. For a moment, your breath catches. You follow the trail farther. The wind shifts, carrying with it a faint scent. Dust, crushed grass, and something harsher, sharper. You recognize it. Stress scent. Elephants release it when frightened or threatened. The smell lingers here like a warning written into the air. Then you see more signs. Broken branches. Flattened shrubs. A wide arc where something large moved through the vegetation. You step closer, studying the pattern. The spacing of the prints is uneven, almost chaotic. Whatever chased the herd wasn't moving in a straight line. It lunged, circled, doubled back. Predators sometimes hunt like this when trying to isolate one animal from the rest. But this was no small threat. A few feet ahead, you see claw marks, carved into the bark of a low tree. They're deep, spaced wide, and fresh. You run your fingers lightly over the grooves, feeling the rough edges. A big cat, most likely a lion or leopard, had been here recently. And if it was a lion, the herd would have run without hesitation. You glance back toward the slope, where the hyena still watches you. He knows the cat is gone, but he also knows the calf is vulnerable. He takes a few small steps, testing your reaction. You shift your weight and face him head-on. He pauses, lowers his body, and waits again. You continue along the trail. The pattern becomes clearer. The herd panicked first, then the mother tried to follow while dragging the calf. At some point, the predator got too close. She must have placed him on the ground to defend the others, then fled when the herd surged in a new direction. In the chaos, the newborn was left behind and collapsed from exhaustion. You stop. The story written in the soil ends here. You lift the calf again. His breathing stays unsteady, each inhale shorter than the last. If you don't reunite him with the herd soon, his body won't hold on. But an unseen threat was closing in. You adjust your hold on the calf and turn back toward the slope, keeping the hyena in sight. He hasn't moved far, but his posture has changed. His shoulders are tighter now, his stance lower, his eyes more focused than before. He isn't waiting for the calf to weaken anymore. He's waiting for you to slip. You step backward slowly, positioning your body between him and the newborn. The calf leans against your chest, too tired to lift his head. His trunk brushes your arm, warm and trembling. Each breath he takes feels thinner than the last. You rest one hand on his side, steadying him, trying to give him any comfort you can. You feel an unexpected wave of protectiveness. The hyena paces a few steps left, then right. His paws move lightly across the dirt, barely stirring the dust. His ears twitch at every sound, the calf's breathing, the shift of your boots, the faint hum of wind. He's reading every moment, waiting for a single mistake, a stumble, a dropped glance, a shift in balance. You've seen predators hunt before, but this is different. He isn't part of a pack. Lone hyenas often become more relentless, more desperate. Without others to assist him or share food, every opportunity matters. And an elephant calf, even a newborn, offers enough meat to sustain him for days. He won't walk away unless forced to. You raise your voice again, firm and loud. The hyena flinches, but doesn't retreat far. Instead, he circles wider, moving toward a patch of tall grass. That could hide him completely. If he reaches that cover, you'll lose any chance of predicting his sprint. You shift the calf higher against your shoulder. His legs dangle, limp and shaking. The pressure of his small head against your collarbone grows lighter, a worrying sign. You study the horizon, hoping for any glimpse of movement from the herd. But the plains stay quiet, empty, undisturbed. You listen for their low rumbles, the deep, rolling sounds elephants use to communicate across long distances. Nothing, only the soft whistle of wind and the slow panting of the hyena below. You kneel carefully, never taking your eyes off. The predator can examine the calf's trunk. It curls weakly when you touch it, but the reaction is faint, almost reflexive. His dehydration is worsening. Newborn elephants rely on constant milk intake. Without it, their energy disappears quickly. His skin already shows dryness along the edges of his ears, a sign he's been without nourishment for too long. You whisper. Steady words again, hoping the sound alone may keep him conscious. The hyena edges closer. You stand sharply, shifting your stance to block his path. He freezes, his grin widening in a subtle, unnerving stretch. Saliva drips from one side of his jaw as he studies the calf in your arms. His tail flicks once, twice, then stills. You know what he's thinking. He believes the calf will be his, not now, but soon. All he has to do is wait for your strength to falter. You look once more across the plains. A faint vibration travels through the ground, something heavy moving in the distance. Hope flickers for the first time. And just when hope returned, Everything changed again. You brace the calf higher against your chest, trying to steady his weakening body. His breaths arrive in uneven patterns, each one softer than the last. His head rests limply on your shoulder, the weight shifting only when a small tremor passes through him. You place a hand along his side, feeling the faint rise and fall. It's too slow, too shallow. If he loses any more strength, even the returning herd won't be able to save him. The hyena remains below the slope, silent and deliberate. He has stopped pacing. He has stopped circling. Now he simply watches you with cold focus. Every few seconds his tail gives a short twitch, but his body stays unnervingly still. He's conserving energy, preparing for the moment when he thinks you can't defend the calf anymore. You tighten your grip and shift your stance, grounding your feet. The newborn's legs shake against your arm, small and unsteady. You whisper softly, hoping to keep him awake. His ear flutters a little at the sound, but his eyes remain closed. His body sags deeper into your hold. A chill runs through you as the truth becomes clear. You need to act, not later, not soon, now. You kneel carefully, keeping your eyes locked on the hyena, and reach for the small canteen secured to your belt. You unscrew the cap with one hand, a difficult task when the calf's weight leans heavily against your other arm. You tilt the canteen toward his mouth and let a few drops fall along the edge of his trunk. At first there's no reaction. Then his trunk twitches slightly, brushing the metal. You tilt again. Another drop falls, then another. Slowly, his mouth shifts. He manages to take in the faintest amount of water. It's not much, just enough to wet his tongue, but any hydration is better than none. The hyena's ears prick forward as he watches. He can sense the calf's weakness growing. He can sense your strain. He steps closer, paws pressing, silently into the dust. His shadow stretches long across the ground as he inches toward the slope. You rise quickly, setting your feet wide to maintain balance. The calf's weight pulls against your arm, heavier with every passing second. His small head lolls to the side. You nudge it gently back into place, refusing to let him slip. You scan the plains again. The distant vibration you felt earlier grows stronger. The earth carries the subtle tremor of heavy bodies moving together. Elephants often communicate through low-frequency rumbles that travel through the ground, vibrations, strong enough for others to sense miles away. It feels like that now. The herd may finally be heading back. The hyena senses it too. His eyes shift toward the horizon for a moment, reading the air, judging the time he has left. He bares his teeth in a slow, deliberate snarl. If he wants this calf, he has to take it soon. You adjust your hold once more, preparing to defend the newborn with whatever strength you have left. The wind quiets. The plains seem to pause. Even the dust hangs still in the air. But a new fear was already rising on the horizon. The vibration beneath your feet grows stronger, steady now, rhythmic and deep. You shift the calf in your arms, trying to keep him upright. His body feels heavier than before, almost boneless, as if exhaustion has drained every last thread of strength. His head presses weakly into your shoulder, and you can feel the faint tremble running through him with each shallow breath. You turn toward the plains again. The horizon shimmers under the heat, a thin blur of gold and brown. And then, through that shimmer, you see movement. Large shapes, distant but unmistakable, rise and fall with the ground's rhythm. The herd is returning. For the first time since finding the calf, a flicker of relief washes through you. But it's brief. The newborn's breathing hitches again, lighter now, dangerously soft. You rest your hand against his flank, feeling the slow, uneven pattern. If the herd doesn't reach you soon, he might not be conscious when his mother arrives. The hyena senses the shift as well. His head snaps toward the approaching movement, ears stiff and alert. He lets out a low, frustrated growl, not loud, but sharp enough to expose his panic. He knows his window is closing. Whatever chance he had is slipping away with every thunderous step of the herd. You feel the ground thud beneath you again. The sound spreads outward like a rolling drum beat. Elephants don't run without reason. When they return in a formation like this, something has pushed them to regroup, maybe to defend territory, maybe to seek safety in numbers. Either way, their pace tells you urgency still hangs in the air. The calf stirs weakly, barely lifting his trunk. His eyes open a fraction, unfocused, then drift closed again. You brush a thumb gently along the top of his ear, trying to keep him responsive. His skin feels warmer now, too warm, a worrying sign that dehydration is advancing. You whisper steady words, hoping your voice anchors him for a little longer. Below the slope, the hyena inches backward, calculating his next move. He doesn't retreat fully. Instead, he shifts toward a patch of grass, thick enough to hide his body. If he can stay concealed, he may try a final rush when the herd arrives. Chaos often creates openings. You take a step forward, blocking his line of sight, refusing to give him the angle he wants. The herd's shapes sharpen in the distance. You can make out the matriarch at the front, larger, heavier, with a broad forehead dusted in pale soil. Behind her, younger elephants move in a tight cluster, their trunks raised, tasting the air. They sense something unusual ahead. They sense the calf's scent. They sense your presence. For a moment, the plains hold a strange tension. Hope on one side, danger on the other. You shift your stance again, preparing for the meeting. You've seen elephant reunions before, but everyone is different. Some mothers rush forward in relief. Others approach cautiously, wary of human scent on their newborn. And some, overwhelmed by fear or confusion, may even reject their calf temporarily. The herd draws closer. The earth vibrates with each heavy step. Dust rises behind them in a rolling cloud. But in the tall grass near the slope, the hyena moves slightly, lowering his body. Yet danger was moving faster than you expected. The herd approaches in a tight formation, their silhouettes growing larger with each thunderous step. The matriarch leads them, head high, ears slightly flared, her body radiating a steady, commanding presence. You can feel the calf react faintly to the vibrations. A small flutter in his trunk, a weak shifting of his legs, as if some distant part of him knows his family is near. But he's far too weak to call out. You hold him closer, supporting his weight, and begin stepping down the slope. Dust lifts under your boots as you descend, careful not to jostle him. The hyena stays hidden in the tall grass, only his eyes visible, wide, and focused. He knows he can't fight the herd, but chaos might still offer him a chance. The elephants slow when they see you. The matriarch stops first, raising her trunk into the air. She pulls in a deep breath, tasting the scent. Another adult steps. Beside her, mirroring the motion, their bodies stiffen. They've picked up something familiar, the scent of their missing newborn, but it's mixed with yours. You stop a safe distance away, letting the calf rest more securely against your chest. His head hangs limply. His breaths arrive as faint, delicate pulses. You whisper softly to him again, hoping he can hear your voice through the haze of exhaustion. A quiet fear settles over you. The matriarch moves forward, slow and deliberate. Her gaze locks onto the calf. Her trunk lowers, sweeping the air in a broad arc. She takes another step, then pauses, examining the situation. Her posture shifts, not aggression, not comfort, something in between, suspicion. You kneel carefully and lower the calf onto the softest patch of dirt you can find. His legs fold awkwardly beneath him. His head rests sideways, trunk twitching. Weakly, you keep one hand on his body, steadying him. The matriarch closes the distance. She approaches with cautious precision, each step measured. Her ears angle forward as she leans down, letting her trunk drift over the calf's back. She inhales deeply, searching for the familiar scent she knows should be there, the scent of her child. but it's not fully there. Your scent clings. To him, dust, sweat, water, all foreign smells. The matriarch pulls back slightly, rumbling a low, uncertain note. Another adult joins her side, offering additional scent checks. Their reactions grow tense, confused. It's not recognition, it's hesitation. You know the truth. Elephants rely heavily on scent to confirm identity. If a calf smells unfamiliar, even a mother can hesitate before accepting him back into the herd. It's nature's way of protecting the group from danger or disease. The matriarch circles slowly around the calf. Her trunk brushes his side again, lighter this time, almost curious. But then she lifts her head abruptly. Her eyes lock onto you. She steps forward, placing her massive body between you and the newborn. It's not an attack. It's a warning. You raise both hands and take a slow step back. The tension in her muscles eases slightly, but the uncertainty remains. Behind her, the herd shifts restlessly. Younger elephants trumpet softly, confused. Others stomp lightly, sensing the unease in the air. The calf lets out a weak, broken sound, a soft, fading cry. The matriarch freezes. Her head turns sharply toward him. Her ears rise. Her posture changes in an instant. But an unseen threat was closing in. The calf's faint cry ripples through the air, thin but unmistakable. The matriarch reacts immediately. Her entire body shifts toward him, tension draining from her shoulders as instinct takes over. She lowers her trunk and brushes it gently along his back, the movement slow and deliberate. For a moment, you see something soften in her eyes. Recognition fighting through confusion. But before she can fully accept him, the ground trembles with a sudden jarring force. A deep bellow erupts from the left, powerful enough to vibrate through your chest. You turn sharply. A rogue bull bursts from the brush, dust exploding around him as he charges straight toward the herd. His tusks cut through the sunlight, his ears pinned back in fury. He's not attacking the calf, he's challenging the matriarch. You take several steps back, pulling away from the unfolding chaos. The calf lies helpless on the ground, his ears twitching weakly, unaware of the danger raging around him. The matriarch wheels around at the bull's roar. She steps in front of the calf, her body a massive shield. She trumpets sharply, a piercing blast that rings across the plains. Several females rush forward to support her, forming a protective wall. The bull quickens his pace, determined and relentless. A chill runs through you as the truth becomes clear. This bull isn't acting out of aggression alone. Bulls in musth, a hormonal state of heightened dominance, often become unpredictable. Their tempers spike. Their tolerance vanishes. They challenge anything in their path, even members of their own herd. The matriarch stands her ground. She slams her feet against the earth, sending dust flying. The herd behind her rumbles in unison, a low warning that rolls through the landscape like distant thunder. Still, the bull charges onward, his tusks angled forward in a reckless show of dominance. You try to pull the calf farther away, but his body is too weak to lift quickly. You manage only a foot or two before you must set him down again. His legs scrape the dirt, and he lets out a small, startled gasp. The matriarch hears it. She shifts slightly, glancing back at him for a split second, a moment the bull uses to surge closer. The herd explodes into motion. Two females rush the bull from the side, slamming their bodies into his flank. The impact sends dust flying in a thick cloud. The bull stumbles, but doesn't fall. He swings his head wildly, tusks cutting arcs through the air. Another female charges, trumpeting so loudly it echoes across the plain. The hyena, startled by the sudden chaos, darts from the grass and circles wide, watching from a distance. He can't approach the calf now, not with the herd in full defensive mode, but his eyes remain fixed on the opportunity chaos might create. The bull pushes forward again, angling toward the calf this time, whether intentionally or in blind. Rage. You instinctively step in front of him, even though you know you can't stop him with strength alone. You wave your arms wide, shouting as loudly as you can. The matriarch reacts instantly. She lunges forward and smashes her forehead against the bull's shoulder. A sheer force sends a tremor through the ground. The bull stumbles sideways, kicking up another wave of dirt. The herd surges again, forming a barrier around the calf. For a moment, everything falls still, dust swirling, elephants rumbling, the bull panting heavily as he reassesses his target. And just when hope returned, everything changed again. Dust floats through the air in slow, drifting sheets as the bull steadies himself. The matriarch holds her ground, towering between him and the calf. The herd tightens its formation, every elephant rumbling with a low, unified warning. The plain feels charged, like the entire landscape is waiting for the next impact. You keep your body over the calf, shielding him as best as you can, even though his strength continues to slip away beneath your hands. The bull paws the ground, digging a deep groove into the dirt. His tusks rise. His eyes lock onto the herd's protective wall. He's not retreating. He's preparing for another assault. You slide the calf a few inches back, hoping to create even a small buffer. His trunk twitches weakly, curling toward your arm. His breathing turns shallow again, almost silent. You rest your hand gently on his side, feeling the faint, fragile movement. A chill runs through you as the truth becomes clear. If he fades into unconsciousness now, he might not wake. The herd senses his weakening. A young female steps closer, her trunk reaching toward the calf, but stopping short when the matriarch snaps her head in warning. Caution still rules the moment. They want to help, but they're unsure if he's truly theirs. Then, from the corner of your vision, something moves. The hyena. He slinks from the tall grass, body low, eyes glowing with renewed hunger. The chaos has given him exactly what he wanted, distraction. His paws press lightly against the earth as he angles toward the calf's exposed side. He's not rushing. He's stalking with quiet, precise intention. You swing your body to block him. He freezes, lips curling. His growl is soft but sharp, a blade of sound slicing through the tension. The bull bellows again and charges. The matriarch roars in response, her trumpet cutting through the night air with a force that rattles the ground. She surges forward, meeting the bull head-on. Their bodies collide with an explosive thud, dust erupting around them. The herd charges in behind her, pushing, shoving, slamming their weight into the bull's flank. He stumbles, roars, and thrashes wildly, tusks swinging. One tusk rips through a clump of grass, only a few strides from where you kneel. The ground shakes beneath the force of every impact. The hyena sees his opening. He darts forward, jaw snapping. You react instinctively. You grab a fist-sized rock and hurl it toward his path. It hits the ground inches from his paws. He recoils with a startled snarl, skidding backward. His eyes flash with frustration and desperation. He tries again, lunging closer this time. You leap to your feet, arms spread wide, shouting with every ounce of strength left in your lungs. The noise is enough. The hyena hesitates. Behind you, the herd erupts in another wave of movement, pushing the bull farther away. The thundering. Chaos finally breaks the predator's nerve. He turns sharply and bolts into the tall grass, disappearing into the shadows. You fall to your knees beside the calf, just as the bull collapses under the combined force of the herd. He scrambles back to his feet and flees into the night, defeated, retreating far from the newborn he almost trampled. The dust settles slowly. The herd reforms. The matriarch steps forward, her massive shadow falling across you and the calf. But an unseen threat was closing in. The night thins slowly, the darkness softening into a pale blue haze. Dust settles across the plain in delicate layers as the herd regroups. The matriarch stands over the calf, her massive body forming protective wall between him and the remaining shadows of danger. The newborn lies weakly against the soil, his breath shallow but steady enough to show a flicker of stubborn will. You sit beside him, exhausted but unwilling to look away. His skin is warm beneath your hand, warmer than it should be, but no, longer burning with the desperate heat of collapse. He shifts slightly, a faint movement of his trunk brushing your fingers. It is weak, but it is something, and after the long night, anything matters. The matriarch lowers her head again, drawing in a slow breath. She leans close, her trunk following the length of the calf's back. This time, she doesn't pull away. She takes in his scent again, but with less hesitation. The confusion that gripped her earlier begins to fade, replaced by a deeper instinct pulling her toward the truth. Another elephant approaches, a smaller female, likely the calf's older sister. She steps forward cautiously, her trunk reaching out in a trembling line. She touches the calf's head gently, then retreats a few steps, as if asking the matriarch for permission to come closer. The matriarch rumbles softly, a deep, steady sound that resonates through the ground. It's not a warning, it's reassurance. The sister returns, touching the newborn again, this time longer. She nudges his side gently. He responds with a tiny, exhausted grunt. You watch the subtle shift in the herd. The moment hesitation begins transforming into recognition. Elephants have intricate social memories. Even with scent disturbed or masked, sound and touch can awaken connections that run deep. The calf's faint noises, his tiny movements, the familiar shape of his body, it all begins aligning for them. The matriarch steps back slightly, giving space at last. With slow, deliberate care, you slide your arms beneath the calf and lift him enough to reposition him upright. His legs wobble, nearly folding again, but you support his weight until he finds the smallest bit of balance. He sways, trunk dangling loosely, but he remains upright. The sister moves beside him. She nudges him gently toward her chest, an invitation for him to lean on her. He accepts it instinctively, resting against her side. Then the sound you've been waiting for breaks the quiet. A distant trumpet, sharp, emotional, rising from the far edge of the plain. You turn toward the horizon. A lone elephant is approaching, her silhouette illuminated by the first hints of sunrise. She walks quickly, not running, but with a purpose so fierce you feel it before you fully recognize her. Her trunk is lifted high, tasting the air. Her steps grow faster when she spots the herd. And when she sees the calf, her entire body jolts with recognition. The mother returns. The herd shifts, parting just enough to let her through. She rushes. The last few steps, stopping only when her trunk reaches her newborn. She sweeps it over his body again and again, frantic, tender, overwhelmed by relief. The calf leans into her touch, too weak to stand on his own, but clearly aware of who has found him. You step back quietly, giving them space. The mother circles him, touching every part of his small frame, his head, his back, his curled trunk. Her rumbles deepen, filled with reassurance. She presses her forehead gently to his, a gesture as old as their species. Sunrise spreads across the plain in slow gold bands. A new beginning settles over them all. The sun climbs higher, soft and warm, washing the plain in a golden calm that feels nothing like the danger of the night before. The herd settles into a loose circle, their bodies relaxed, their movements slow and steady. The air carries only quiet rumbles now, low, soothing notes that ripple across the ground like a lullaby meant for the newborn they finally reclaimed. The mother stays closest to her calf. She stands over him with patient strength, her shadow shielding him from the rising heat. Every few minutes she lowers her trunk and brushes him gently, making sure he feels her presence. The calf, still weak but no longer alone, leans into her touch. His breaths are deeper now, his tiny movements more controlled. A soft breeze rolls across the landscape, bending the grass in slow waves. It carries the sense of dust, warm soil, and the faint sweetness of nearby acacia blooms. You sit at a distance, watching the reunion unfold in the soft glow of morning. The stress that filled your chest all night begins to fade, replaced by a quiet, grounding peace. The herd moves as one. The mother nudges the calf forward, encouraging him to take a small step. He tries, wobbly, uncertain, but willing. She supports him with gentle pressure, guiding him into the safety of the group. The danger has passed. The plain is calm again, and life, fragile but resilient, continues.